we'll be taking more calls on this annual Sheryl Browne Appreciation Day just as soon as they come in. But I'm counting the money in the meanwhile. No one, of course, has entered the Sheryl Browne essay contest. I don't understand why. Let's see, we got 5, 10, 15, 25, 27, 28, 29, 30, $31 so far in Canadian coins here. I'll admit I'm down to the dimes now. Most of the quarters are gone, and I am down to the dimes. But we'll be taking calls on Sheryl Browne Appreciation Day. Your opportunity to call up and express just how much you appreciate Sheryl. It's an annual event here at the radio station. Very, very popular. Extremely popular event. And those calls will be pouring in at virtually any time now. People, I suppose, are somewhat, 40, 50. Excuse me a second. It's more difficult with the dimes. Need 3 more. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And, of course, you may discuss anything else that you would like to discuss on Sheryl Browne Appreciation Day, just so long as you start out with something that's, appropriate for Sheryl Browne Appreciation Day at WFLA. And those calls will be coming in anytime. Anytime now. They'll be pouring in. A lot of them will be coming in. I'm sure that people appreciate Sheryl very much. And they'll be coming momentarily. 3, 6, 8, 2 more dimes. Okay. And there's a very considerable prize here, of course, in the Sheryl Browne essay contest. 10. Now we're down to the nickels. 20, 30. God, their nickels sound even worse than their quarters. Oh, man, this is grim. Whoa. Let's see. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50... Oh, a couple more dimes. 60, 70, 80, 90, $1. Okay, $1 worth of Canadian nickels. Boy, I tell you, that doesn't look like it ought to buy a stick of bubble gum. Whoa, what a weird sound those things make. Here's some more Sheryl Browne Appreciation Day calls. Robert in Tampa. Robert, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Yeah, I'd like to say that I appreciate Sheryl Browne very much.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's an excellent reporter and does a tremendous job, and I do like her new hairdo.
You like that new hairdo? Oh, it's really great, isn't it? It's kind of in the spirit of the season.
I think it's very becoming.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to say that I had the privilege a couple of years ago of running behind her in the Gasparilla Distance Classic, and she was literally outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
And made the long distance pass by very quickly.
Well, that's fantastic. That's really incredible. That's quite a testimony.
So, I'm all for this Appreciation Day, and I think you should honor her more than once a year.
More than once. Well, we may make this a weekly event, actually.
I think that would do her justice.
Well, okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Robert. Pat in Town and Country. Pat, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Yeah. How you doing today, Bob?
Oh, fantastic, Pat. We always get excited on Sheryl Browne Appreciation Day.
Yeah, I just want to tell you how much I appreciate her. And one of your earlier callers had mentioned that, she worked with the underprivileged children.
Mm-hmm.
And hold on just a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I went to school with her.
Really?
Yeah, and I just want to tell you why she works with the children.
Mm-hmm.
She was abused when she was a child.
Well, first of all, where are you from?
West Virginia.
No, I don't think Sheryl is.
Oh, really?
Really?
I think that was her.
You thought it was her?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. Bob in Tampa. Bob, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
I appreciate Sheryl.
Great.
She comes on twice a day. And I appreciate she doesn't come on 3 times a day.
Oh, come on, sir. That's not the spirit of Sheryl Browne Appreciation Day.
Sure it is.
I mean, can't you find something
good swimmer,
something like that?
And I appreciate seeing her 2 times a day, and that's it. I mean, I thank her for that, for putting us through twice a day.
Okay, well...
That's the whole spirit of why I appreciate her, for being there twice a day for me.
Oh, okay.
And thanks for the call, Bob.
I don't think we called him, did we? I think he called us. Dan in Clearwater. Dan, you're on the air at 970 WFLA for Sheryl Browne Appreciation Day.
Bob, let me tell you, I appreciate Sheryl Browne. She's a fine woman.
Mm-hmm.
She expels the truth into the air. instead of the toxic waste that comes from your airwaves.
Mm-hmm.
She's a fine, fine woman.
Mm-hmm.
She can come on to me anytime she likes.
Well, I suppose she could, but I doubt very much that she will. Pat in Clearwater, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Hello? Am I on?
Yes, you're on, Pat.
Okay. I appreciate Sheryl Browne. I think she's wholesome and she's beautiful and she does a great job as a newscaster.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just like my daughter, and I really love her.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Oh, what a great outpouring of love for Sheryl Browne. You see that other caller thought that? Oh, man. Ed in Clearwater. Ed, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Lassiter?
Yes.
I reported you to Channel 10.
You reported me to Channel 10.
You're in trouble now.
Well, sir, I think Channel 10's quite aware of me. They didn't really need you to call up and tell them that I exist.
Well, you're in trouble now.
How's that, sir?
I reported you to Channel 10.
You reported me for doing Sheryl Browne Appreciation Day?
You're in trouble now.
How's that, sir?
Because I reported you to Channel 10.
Well, what did you report?
I reported that you were not being nice to Sheryl Browne.
I beg your pardon, sir. I'm conducting Sheryl Browne Appreciation Day. And I'm giving an opportunity to a vast audience to express their love and appreciation of Sheryl Browne.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry, Bob.
Oh, that's okay. Your dime. Randy in Largo. Randy, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Who's Sheryl Browne?
Who is Sheryl Browne? Oh, come on, Randy. You're pulling our leg now.
Well, that's what you like.
I don't know, Randy. You've, been known to do more bizarre things than that.
That's true.
I know it's true. We know about you
Not
over
only
here.
bizarre, kinky, among other things.
Mm-hmm.
Sheryl Browne.
Sheryl Browne.
Sheryl Browne.
Sheryl Browne.
No, can't say I met her recently. She hang out at the Tango Lounge?
I doubt it very much, sir. I really think that's just out of the question.
McDonald's on Ulmerton?
I doubt that very much, sir. We're talking about a very classy broad here.
Krabby Bill's, that's where I've met her.
Krabby Bill's? I would doubt that.
Well, can't think of where I might, or who is Sheryl Browne? What is a Sheryl Browne?
I don't know. Perhaps we'll try to explore that.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Remainder of the program. Well, thank you, Randy.
Hey, it's been a real pleasure. All yours.
Okay, let me come up with another count here. 5, 10, 15, 25, 30, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Okay, there we go. So I'll have a total for you in just 1 second here. 5, 10, 15, 25, 30, 5, 36, 37, 21, 2, 3. $37.26. Yes, you heard it right. Let me write that down here. $37.26, all in Canadian coin. Well, there is that $2 bill, the Canadian $2 bill. So it's actually $35.26 in Canadian coins and the $2 bill for the person who writes the best Sheryl Browne essay today on Sheryl Browne Essay Contest Day. $37.26. That is a very, very considerable amount of money. It's a hell of a lot more money than giving you at the other place. Let's see here. Gary in Indian Rocks. Gary, you're on the... no, that's not Gary. That's Gary. Now you're on the air, Gary.
How are you today, Bob?
Oh, just great.
Well, I personally happen to like Sheryl Browne.
It's Satchel here. Yeah, go ahead.
And I know you just once again trying to trash people. At least she's...
Sir, do not insult me. I do not try to trash people.
Well...
If I want to trash somebody, sir, I'm perfectly capable of doing it. Thank you.
Well, at any rate, she certainly is better than people who support socialist ideas and are draft dodgers and all this other kind of garbage.
Well, I suppose she would be better than somebody who did something like that.
That you constantly put out on the air.
Well, sir, I don't support socialism. As a matter of fact, I'm quite opposed to it.
And I'm sure...
I know, details.
I'm sure that you remember me, Bob. I called you several months ago when you were... and I asked you then if you were... what your heritage was, and you got very, very upset with me for that.
I don't recall getting upset at a question like that.
But at any rate, I just, it seems like anything that's any good, whether it's in Tampa or whether it's anywhere at all, you have to trash it, no matter what it is. If it's garbage, then you love it. Mm-hmm. I guess that's why you're fat. Pigs just love to waller in the garbage.
No, No, sir, I don't eat garbage. I eat steaks, I eat chops. I don't eat junk food or garbage.
Well, I just, like I say, it just seems that anything that is any good at all, you have to trash it, no matter what it is.
Well, sir, I think you've been on the air now for almost 3 minutes, and I can't think of one good thing that you've said about Sheryl Browne.
Well, I just happen to like her.
This is Sheryl Browne Appreciation Day.
I happen to like her. I think she's, a fine newscaster,
Yeah, what channel is she on?
She's on Channel 10.
Channel 10, very good.
I know.
What are some of the things that she's done in this past year that you consider highlights?
Well, I just, overall, I like her attitude.
You like her attitude, okay. I mean, you kind of like the way she sits there and stares at her hands when John's talking, that kind of stuff?
Well, I'm not aware of her doing that, And besides, she may be thinking, which is more than I can say for other people.
Thinking Lincoln maybe even.
Well, I hope you don't get your stupid car. I hope you have to drive a little Toyota.
No, I'll bet you do. But, Gary, you see, there's virtually no chance of that whatsoever. Because every single day at 12 noon, guys like you all over the Tampa Bay area, genuine masochists, tune into this program, and that's what keeps me in things like Lincolns and Piagets.
Well,
Thank you ever so much, Gary. We really appreciate that. 12:41 the time.
To give you due...
Day, 970 WF... Ooh, heavenly voices. Yes, and don't forget the Sheryl Browne Appreciation Day essay contest. $37.26 is the prize. That's $37.26 in Canadian coins. And they are in a brown paper satchel and will be sent out to you if you indeed are the winner of the annual Sheryl Browne essay contest. Of course, as in past years, it's a fill-in-the-blank type contest. It starts out, look up on the screen. It's a bird. It's a test pattern. No, it's Sheryl Browne, anchor woman, who, disguised as a mild-mannered reporter, leads the crusade blank. You see? Okay, simple as that. $37.20. Just imagine what you could do with $37.26 in Canadian coins. Doug in Clearwater. Doug, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Good afternoon, Bob.
Afternoon, Doug.
First of all, I'd like to ask you, the Canadian change you have in front of you, are these bent Canadian quarters that have been pulled out of a vending machine?
No, only one of them appears to be mutilated. All the rest are in excellent condition. Some of them are still even shiny.
You're definitely getting your money's worth then.
Oh, definitely. I mean, this is one hell of a prize, and there may be more coming. I'm looking around. I may still have, people send me Canadian money all the time. I may have some more.
Listen, Bob, I appreciate Sheryl mainly because of her on-air camera presence. She just bubbles over with personality. If anything, I find her effervescent.
Effervescent, a good word for Sheryl Browne Appreciation Day. Effervescent, I like that.
Okay, good.
What does it mean? Wait a second, what does it mean?
Effervescent?
Yeah.
Look it up.
Oh.
Matter of fact, your show host manual is right there, isn't it?
No, it's back in the office today.
Have Mike get it.
Oh, okay.
Bye, Bob.
Take care. Off we go to, let's see, it'll be Don in Pinellas Park. Hi, Don, you're on the air at 970 WFLA for Sheryl Browne Appreciation Day.
Hi, Bob.
Yeah,
I just wanted to let you know I have nothing to say about Sheryl Browne because I've just recently moved here, and I've been listening to your show for about 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, I thought you were okay, but I don't know how a conservative state like Florida would let somebody who seems to have, you lean towards the wimpy and weak.
Well, sir, are you implying that Sheryl Browne is wimpy and weak?
No, you are, sir. I mean, I listened to you talk about this Lincoln Continental. What kind of man would go to outside help to deal with his wife? Why don't you just tell your wife you want the car and buy the car?
Well, I did tell my wife I wanted the car.
Clean your office. Ooh. I heard you making fun of wrestlers and all other kinds of people. And to me, you sound like the homosexual.
I sound like it was. Is that important to you, Don?
In my listening preference, sure. I'm not prejudiced against homosexuals, but I don't care to listen to what goes on in their daily lives. And I just wanted to get that off my chest because I really don't care to listen to you, but the guy I work with...
You like to walk around with your shirt open a lot, huh?
No, I'm not that type.
Kind of attracts the right kind of person, huh?
I'm trying to have a conversation with you. I want to know why you got to go outside to deal with your wife. I mean, what kind of man are you? Can't you tell your wife you want the car? I did tell
my wife I want the car.
And she told you no.
Well, she's giving it a little bit.
She's back. Yeah, it's because you go to outside help. You got to have everybody help you. Can't you handle your
Well,
problems?
sir, I just think that you're jealous because you don't have your own talk show, so that, you know.
I wish I did have my own
I'll
talk
bet
show.
you do, but I don't think you stand a chance in the world with a wimpy little, high-toned voice like yours.
So what's that have to do with anything? Does it mean I'm a faggot because I have a wimpy voice?
No, it doesn't mean you're a faggot. It means you're just obnoxious to listen to. Your sexual preference has nothing whatsoever to do with it, sir. It's just that your voice kind of grates on the nerves.
Well, thank you for that compliment, you idiot. Goodbye.
Jerk didn't even know it wasn't a compliment. Wow, what dummies call this program. My able board operator and producer, Michael Sheryl, has called a local bank, and we have found out that $37.26 in Canadian coins can be turned into $28.98 in U.S., okay? $28.98 U.S., $37.26 Canadian. Mary in Tampa. Mary, you're on the air at 970 WFLA for Sheryl Browne Appreciation Day.
Hi, Bob. I'm going to be known all during your program as being very catty. Mm-hmm. But I do not watch Channel 10, but I do. Left it on.
Watch it all the time.
Well, I had left it on the night before, and last night when I went to put the news on, it was on Channel 10. Mm-hmm. And I watched Channel 8. Well, when I saw Sheryl Browne, I thought her hair looked exactly like for Halloween. It looked horrible.
You're not implying, Mary, that her hair looks like a fright wig or something, are you?
It looks like she was scared to death.
Oh, I don't. I find it very contemporary, a very contemporary hairstyle.
Well, I'm glad you like it, but I bet you I get calls that I'm very catty.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see, Mary.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Okay, anybody would like to call in and call Mary Caddy, that's 990-9352. Diane in East Tampa. Diane, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Okay, Bob, I have my essay written.
Ah, the essay written, okay.
Okay, leading the crusade is where I come into it, right?
Right, well, okay, I'll start it and then you pick it up.
Okay.
I'll do this with a little bit of dramatic flair, okay?
All right.
Look, up on the screen. It's a bird. It's a test pattern. No, it's Sheryl Browne, anchorwoman, who, disguised as a mild-mannered reporter, leads the crusade
against stiff feminist anchor women, enduring the manipulations of amateur hairdressers, tirelessly working with the underprivileged, demonstrating proper behavior in the presence of domineering male counterparts, running bravely in local races, and tolerating me when I once met her in person at a Publix Presto ATM. Sheryl Browne has truly earned her day.
Well, that's a very, very nice essay for Sheryl Browne Appreciation Day, Diane. I think that you are probably in very strong contention to win that $37.26 in Canadian coins.
Well, thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
For your other caller.
Yeah.
Meow.
Oh, mercy. Thank you, Diane.
Bye-bye.
Oh, that was catty. 2 lines.
How are you today, Bob?
Oh, fantastic. I look forward every year to Sheryl Browne Appreciation Day.
Well, I wanted to call you up and actually talk to you about your attitude Friday night with Sam.
Well, sure, yeah, and you can do that just as soon as you have something to say about Sheryl Browne.
Well, I don't know. She's all right, I guess.
Okay, she's all right, I guess. All right.
I really can't see the point in using profanity on the air. One, calling Ollie North an SOB, that really is uncalled for, Bob.
No, I don't think it is.
Well?
No, I don't. I think when somebody wraps himself in the flag and the Bible to cover up or excuse or justify his crimes, then he qualifies as a son of a bitch.
Well, Bob, I realize that you have absolutely no respect for either. I realize that totally.
Well, first of all, you have half a statement that's quite incorrect, and you either apologize to me for implying that I don't like the flag, sir, or you're gone.
Well, all right, I'm sorry I said that.
Okay, excellent. Now continue.
But I just, I truly sometimes wonder, Bob, where it is that you come up with these notions.
Well, I wonder where it is that you come up with statements that you don't even believe in yourself that you would, utter on the airwaves.
Such as
I have no respect for the flag.
Well, I don't know, Bob. It seems like every time our country is involved in anything, whether it's Iran, whether it's Nicaragua, whether it's anywhere, you're always on the side of the other country, and it's our country that is the bad guy.
I can't ever recall being on the side of either Iran or Nicaragua. Ever.
Have you not made this statement before, Bob, that we should not support the Contras, that we should pull out of there and let them just do their thing?
That's not being on the side of Nicaragua, is it?
Well, it's being on the side of the communists.
No, it's not being on the side of the communists, sir. It's not being on anybody's side.
Well, Bob, just how do you expect the Contras to continue on if we don't support them?
Well, sir, the Contras are in a losing cause. All the Contras are doing is prolonging misery and agony. The people who support the Contras have conceded they do not stand a chance in hell.
Well, I personally believe we should go in there ourselves.
Great. Why don't you go down and sign up?
Well, if there was a war in Nicaragua...
You're one of those great anti-communists who likes to fight communism with somebody else's blood.
If there was any sort of a police action there or a war, be it whatever it is, I would be down there in a minute, Bob.
Sure you would, of course.
Well, I'll tell you what, if there is, I'll be happy to come down to the station, and you can go with me down there and watch me register.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not one of those. I mean, I don't know if you listen to Dick Norman's show, but you must know where I stand on it. You know,
yes, sir, I do. You're one of these great anti-communists who likes to fight communism with somebody else's blood.
Well, I really don't agree with that.
I mean, it would seem to me, sir, that if I really thought that communism was the threat that you think it is, and if I really thought that 3 million people were hopelessly enslaved under a cruel, evil, miserable, bloodthirsty, murdering dictator such as Daniel Ortega, sir, if I truly believed that,
well, Bob,
I'll tell you what, sir, I wouldn't wait for a police action. I wouldn't wait for a war. I would go down on my own and fight the sons of whatever they are.
Well, Bob, just exactly what would one person do? And unfortunately, most of the country today wouldn't support it, and it would be we'd basically get beat down there.
Oh, I see. So it's not worth fighting communism unless you're guaranteed victory.
Well,
so you're one of these guys that only you're one of these guys that only likes to fight evil so long as you're assured of a glorious victory.
Well, what's the point in getting killed?
Well, sir, what is the point in if it's something that you believe in, if it's a just cause? Why, then, mercy, sir, what a silly question. What's the point of getting killed?
Well, I certainly, if I...
Certainly don't have the courage of your convictions.
Well, I'll say this, Bob. If I was going to go down there and know I was going to lose, I would wait until I thought I was going to win. Now, that's just being a martyr, Bob.
Yeah, all right. No, it's setting a good example. You see, you're sitting back waiting for somebody else to set a good example. You're kind of like Saving Sam, a lot of hot air and not much else.
Well, there's a lot of things that Saving Sam says that irritate me, but I'll say this, there's a lot more that you say that irritate me. I'm surprised you're not on there plugging the Duke. It's only 2 weeks away from the election.
I said, sir, I would not support a political candidate. I'll tell you who I'm going to vote for.
Who?
Well, I did already, the Duke.
Well, I'm surprised you're not on there telling people why they should vote for him.
I think you should vote for Bush.
I probably am.
Well, Mary and I are very grateful. It'll certainly go a long way in helping to pay for that Lincoln.
If I had my way about it, Bob, it would be...
Your expense.
If I had my way about it, it would be Orrin Hatch.
Mm-hmm.
Because that would be my perfect candidate, Orrin Hatch or Jesse Helms. But since, that's who the Republicans have up, I'm going to vote for him, but I feel that he's going to do the same thing that Reagan does. He's going to talk tough and not do anything. I think we should just go down there and start...
hey, come on, they're your kind of guys. Talk tough or not do anything.
What? Well, I think we should just go down there and just bomb the place out.
I might also point out that Orrin Hatch is a talk tough and not do anything kind of guy, too.
Well...
As a matter of fact, all of you guys are. 5.5 minutes after the hour of 1 o'clock. Welcome back. Hour number 2 for a Wednesday, October the 26th, the 1988 Sheryl Browne Appreciation Day at the radio station. Your opportunity to call up and praise Sheryl. We do it once a year. Also, we are, of course, having the annual Sheryl Browne Essay Contest. Anyone who wants to enter that, there is a fantastic prize this year. It's a brown paper satchel filled with Canadian coins, $37.26 Canadian, or you don't have to get out your calculator. I'll do the math for you, $28.92 U.S., but of course it is all in Canadian. You would have to take it down to the bank or use it on the Crosstown Expressway, whatever is your preference. There are let's in Tampa Palms. Doug, you're on the air at 970 WFL.
Bob, what does Mary have to say when you're on Sheryl Browne all the time?
I don't consult Mary on my topics.
Well, you're on Sheryl Browne, aren't you?
No, this is Sheryl Browne Appreciation Day, sir.
Oh, I thought you said, we could just call up and talk about Sheryl Browne.
Right, call up and praise Sheryl Browne on Sheryl Browne Appreciation Day.
Okay, did I appreciate her? Bob?
This is a rating period, sir. If the call, continues to be vague, we'll get somebody on who is not going to be vague.
Would you settle a bet that I have with my brother on your car status?
Sure.
Okay. Is it a Lincoln Continental or a Lincoln Town Car that you're interested in?
It's Continental.
There is a difference.
A major difference.
The Continental is a big square box.
No, the Town Car is the big square box.
And the Continental is a sleek European-looking car, right?
Correct.
You have good taste.
Well, yes, I do.
In newscasters and cars.
Thank you, Doug.
Thank you.
Take care. Troy in Clearwater. Troy, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
How are you doing?
Oh, fine, Troy.
Yeah, I hope you get your Lincoln now.
Uh-huh.
Hey, okay, I want to talk to you about Sheryl Browne.
Okay, well, that's very appropriate. It is Sheryl Browne Appreciation Day.
Okay, I'm new to the area here, and I've just caught her show a couple times, and I think she's doing a real good job. Wouldn't you say so, Bob?
Well, it's not what I say. It's what the caller said.
Okay, well, for me and my friends at work, I feel that the atmosphere
I do hasten to point out. I hasten to point out, and while this may prejudice the audience, I prefer Channel 10's news.
Oh, you do?
Yes, I do. It's what I watch.
I'm not, not too much into the news, but when I flip it over to Channel 10, I know I'm going to get something.
Where else can you get a 4-part series on dwarfs in Florida?
Yeah,
on Channel 10.
Hey, you can't get headlines like that nowhere in America, could you?
No, sir.
And how about this? How about Gail Sierens? I can't really take too much of her.
Well, they don't do series over on that station. That's Channel 8, of course. They don't do series on dwarfs over there. So what's the use?
Hey, I'm telling you, it's got to be a few things brought in about things that's really not so up on the political issues. Now it is
God, I wonder if Sheryl has any sisters at home.
What's that?
I was just thinking out loud, wondering if Sheryl had any sisters at home.
Oh, I'm telling you, she's probably got a couple my age. She can send them over here.
Mm-hmm. Well, thanks, Troy.
All right, we appreciate it.
Take care. Paul in Clearwater. Paul, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Hello, Bob.
Hello, Paul.
I'm going to do the essay.
Okay, our second essay contestant. Go ahead, Paul.
Okay, her crusade to give new meaning to packaging mediocrity and bucolic drivel. The depth of her listener's boredom is matched only by the depth of her cleavage, which I appreciate. And the height of her inanity is
sir,
outmatched.
I've got to warn you that Sophie likes Sheryl Browne, and she does not take too kindly.
Well, she barked at the point that I appreciated.
She was just upset across the board, sir.
Well, she should have listened to the whole thing. I mean, Sophie, you did say she was brain damaged.
Was Sophie?
That just about
continue
that.
the essay.
I personally, okay. And the height of her inanity is outmatched only by her Bride of Frankenstein bonnet.
Bride of Frankenstein bonnet?
You know that big thing?
Sir, are you referring to Sheryl Browne's hair?
Well, sure. She doesn't have a silver streak in it.
Paul, I'm going to stand up for Sheryl Browne and her hair.
You are? Are you going to stand on it or up for it?
I am now standing up for Sheryl Browne's hair, sir. I, too, am cursed with very bad hair. I can't do anything with it. Absolutely nothing.
You don't have...
If I had as much of it as Sheryl has, I'd do the same damn thing she did.
You'd stick
Just put it in the tight curls.
You'd stick your finger in a light socket and straighten it out, though. I mean, I know you at least have a high school education, GED or something.
Sir, I think it absolutely cruel, sir, on a public airwave to poke fun of someone who does not have great hair.
Well,
I mean, just because she doesn't have great hair, sir, does not mean she isn't a fine anchor woman.
She had great hair, Bob, but you know, it wouldn't have gone that way if she hadn't been laying on the beach in her From Here to Eternity commercial with John Browne or whoever the hell she's with there.
Sir, I would do if I had as much hair as Sheryl does, I would do the exact same thing.
You'd streak it gray up the sides and have it 6 feet high.
No, sir, mine is streaked gray.
I think it's in
naturally.
Sophie's brain damage, though. I should at least get, 2 points for that essay? And 1?
Well,
you're not going to let Sophie judge this.
I again, sir, leave all of these decisions up to my producer, Michael Serio.
Oh, as long as it's Michael, okay.
Michael will be the one who decides who gets the $37.26 in Canadian coins that can be converted into $28.98 U.S. if you can find a bank that'll do it.
It's actually going to be 1813 because I told him I'd give him half.
Whoa, sir, in that case, I'm going to have to disqualify you because Michael Serio is a well-known greedy person who is always trying to talk winners out of half of their prizes.
You changing the rule now? You just a minute ago he was going to judge it. You can't change the rules in midstream, can you?
Well, you certainly can. You certainly, exactly. That's what it says on the top of the page, the Bob Lassiter Show. And, if you're going to try to cut deals with Michael Serio...
Well, I just did. He hasn't agreed to it. Did he shake his head yes when I said it?
Sir, he already has it spent.
Oh, God. Well, I didn't know he
out for pizza.
How about Sophie? She want a new dog biscuit?
Sir, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to disqualify you. You are trying to buy the award.
I'll take it back. Just do it on its merits. Although nobody heard it because Sophie was barking so loud. Why do you bring your dog to the station? I'll never understand that.
Why do I bring my dog?
Yeah,
well, sir, wouldn't you take your dog to work if you could?
My wife has to work. She can't. The dog. No, I wouldn't. I can't, not where I'm working.
I see your wife turned you down for a Lincoln, too, huh?
Yeah. You think your wife is cheap. I wanted a car steering wheel cover.
Yeah.
You know what she told me to use? An old T-shirt.
Oh, you're kidding me.
No, and jeez.
Oh.
I'd never get a Lincoln out of her. I couldn't even get a motorcycle out of her.
Oh, man.
My check is electronically transferred into our checking account, which she has.
Well, didn't you call up Liz Richards this morning and say all kinds of mushy things and tape it so that you can play it for your wife tonight?
You mean how does a woman know? I was going to call her and tell her how a man knows a woman, or a man knows a woman and is in love with him, but I didn't think she'd put it on the air.
Well, no, sir, I don't think that's not appropriate either.
Great things in the back seat. That's how you know, Bob.
Well, thanks a lot, Paul.
All right.
Take care. 2 lots, Sheryl Browne Appreciation Day. Jim in Holiday. Jim, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Yeah, Bob, how are you today?
Oh, great.
This is interesting. It was funny, and when I heard you talk the other night or the other day about you were watching them, and the way you announced their name just tore me up. I just went in stitches. But
are you referring to Sheryl?
There you go.
Browne?
There you go,
yes.
Bob. That's just dynamite. But anyway, about 4 or 5 years ago at the state fair, when she first came to town, she went in the petting zoo, and she was doing this runoff in this petting zoo. And the cameraman was there, and I was standing right next to her. And I'm not in the media, by the way, but I was just in there. And she's a very pretty lady. And this goat was standing next to her, and she was talking on the microphone, as a media person does. And the cameraman's there, and the lights are on.
Media persons are known to talk on the microphone.
Yes. And the goat decided that it would relieve itself.
Yes.
And you'd had to see this and watch her. If anybody had an appreciation day, Sheryl needs an appreciation day for that. It never got in the air, I'm sure.
Well, you see, that's the kind of stuff that you civilians out there, you just don't understand what's involved in the business, the courage that it takes to go on every single night, never knowing when they're going to put you on with a goat.
I understand. You got it. Well, it's for the children in the petting zoo, and she didn't here she's giving the goat this great coverage, and what's he do? I mean, just appreciation beyond.
Unbelievable that this poor woman has to put up with that kind of stuff. It isn't fair.
Every time I've seen her, I've often wondered if her left foot, just...
Well, I doubt it very much.
Bob, enjoy yourself immensely. I've got to run.
Take care, Jim. Bye-bye. Art in Clearwater. Art, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
How are you today, Bob?
Oh, great.
I just wanted to agree with that caller that called up before the last one about you. I'd like to know, where were you back in 68, 69? You were slouching down, avoiding the draft is where you were.
No, not by that time. By that time, I pretty well beat it.
Well, I mean, you want...
But how do you feel about Sheryl Browne before you continue?
Well, I think she's a nice lady.
Great, okay.
But, you slouched down to avoid the draft, And you're constantly, every time, exactly as the last caller said.
Well, you see, slouching down did have the purpose of avoiding the draft, but you see, the real purpose of slouching down was to demonstrate just how inept and unfair the entire system was. Because I did it in full view, of course, of everyone.
Well, I wouldn't have worried anyway, Bob. You're probably so overweight that they wouldn't have taken you anyway. And besides, you have to have a certain amount of brains to be in the Army.
Well, then what seems to be your problem with my trying to stay out?
Well, I think they could have used you as a target to shield everyone else,
Oh, clever. Hey, did you get help with this material, or did you make this up all on your own?
No, I made it
that's really some good stuff. Whoa.
But, personally, I feel that, you're just a cowardly person, and, you'd rather sit on the radio and trash the president. You'd rather sit on the radio and trash any conservatives that call. You'd rather, stick up for Daniel Ortega and people like that. And, you see absolutely nothing wrong with this, Bob. Can this country do anything right in your eyes?
Not recently, no. It's been pretty tough. It's been pretty tough.
Well, I'm really sorry you feel that way. I don't know. Perhaps maybe you might find it more to your taste somewhere else.
No, this is my taste. Thank you.
Well, I can't understand why it is on the one hand you constantly are criticizing it, and on the other hand you'd like to live here. It would seem to me if this place is such a hellhole that
it would seem to me that when somebody lives someplace, they would try to improve upon it, rather than just let it deteriorate. Wouldn't you think so, Art?
Well, that's exactly why I happen to be a conservative, and why because I want to improve the place, and I want to.
How do you want to improve it, Art? What things will improve this country?
Well, for one thing, going over there and bombing excuse the expression, the crap out of countries, these little wimpy countries.
Oh, that'll improve America, yeah.
Well,
right,
I think
millions upon millions of innocent people killed, right?
Well, let's listen to this, Bob. Right now,
with bombs, yeah. Art, that's one of the things I love about you so-called neoconservatives. You don't want to go over there and do it yourself with a bayonet or with a gun. No, you want to do it with bombs so that you can sit home and watch it on television at night and let somebody with a college degree, which obviously you don't have, who can fly an airplane, which obviously you can't do, go over and bomb innocent people.
Well,
I love that kind of thinking, Art. That's the kind of thinking that made America what it is today.
Well, see, Bob, now tell me if you don't agree with this. Right now, they're just a bunch of little countries that are, against us. But once those countries unite, they very quickly become one big force.
Yeah, right, with no money, no resources, no nothing.
Well, Bob, they're people, and I'm sure that the Russians will be more than happy to supply every one of them with an AK-47.
Oh, well, what would that do?
Well, then once the countries are all united, then it'll be an army just about as formidable as ours.
Oh, sure, except unfortunately without any way to move.
They
without any supplies, without anything.
The Soviet Union is our closest neighbor, Bob. Do you know that?
Yes, as a matter of fact. Well, actually, it isn't. I would think that Mexico and Canada would be somewhat closer, but the Soviet Union would be the third closest, yeah.
And, I am quite sure, the Soviet Union, they'll never come over and attack us. What they'll do is they'll use all these...
They'll send Paraguay and Bolivia.
Eventually, it'll happen, Bob.
Yep.
Once one goes, you very well know what the domino theory is.
Yes, I do. I frequently chortle over it.
Well, I don't chortle over it. I sit home and I'm rather worried about it, Bob, because I wonder.
Not a doubt in my mind, Art, that you do.
Because I wonder if in 20 years my children are going to be here, or if they're going to be saying comrade instead.
Mm-hmm.
And I already am quite aware, Bob.
Boy, I think it's just really cowardly that a man that is genuinely concerned about his children doesn't want to go down there and stop that communism dead in its tracks by himself. Well, I tell you, here's another one.
What could I do by myself, Bob, against a whole?
I know, right? Wait
Russian
for somebody
battalion.
else. Yeah, Russian. There aren't any Russian battalions.
There certainly would be if we launched an attack.
I see. And we couldn't possibly beat the Russians. We're not good enough to beat the Russians with blowhards like you in the Army, that's for sure.
Well, what I personally think we need to do is get these idiots out of Congress and then let them declare a war, and then we can mobilize, and then we can win.
Yeah.
But until then, a few...
Well, but then the Russian battalions will be there, remember, and they'll stop you dead in your tracks.
No, they won't, because, if it comes down to it, I'll be more than happy to nuke Russia out of existence.
Yeah. 260 million people. Innocent people,
I got no relatives in Russia.
That's right. What the hell? They're just, commies.
Well...
Russian swine.
You know, I realize because, Lassiter, I believe that's a Russian name, and I believe your heritage
Lassiter is a Russian name?
It certainly sounds that way to me.
Well, apparently, you can read as well as you can, look at maps.
Well, what is Lassiter then?
Well, Lassiter is actually an Irish name.
It is?
Yes, but my real name is Gładowski, and that is Russian.
Well, I'm certainly not surprised.
Well, hell, anybody that lays at home worrying about Bolivia attacking, wouldn't be surprised at anything, I guess.
Well, Bob, it's not just the South American countries, it's also the Arab countries. Eventually, all of these little countries will band together into one fighting force. I'm talking Iran, I'm talking Libya, and I'm talking Ethiopia.
Ethiopia, whoa,
that's a communist state. All of these countries will eventually band together as something, I don't know, the United Communist Attack Force or something. You're right.
Well, catchy name, United Communist Attack Force.
One little country isn't of any consequence, Bob, but 20 little countries, that gets to be a problem. Do you see where I'm coming from?
Oh, I know exactly where you're coming from, Art.
And I really find it, I feel like the last caller. I'm surprised you're not on there telling us why we shouldn't vote for Comrade Dukakis.
Comrade Dukakis. Oh, I like that kind of talk.
I'm sure that the first thing he'll do is probably go over and have a nice talk with Mikhail and tell him we're going to take all our missiles and troops out of Europe so you can take over the whole place. And isn't that nice of us? And then after that, we'll probably give you a few states.
Art, I've got some really bad news for you. Ronnie took all the missiles out of Europe.
Well, I don't agree with that, actually. I think,
Neither do I, by the way.
What about the troops? Do you think we still need troops stationed in Germany?
No.
Well, then on that we disagree. I think that the only way to deal with the Russians is to show them nothing but force. Never mind.
Yeah, it's probably the same way you deal with your dog, right?
I don't actually own a dog.
Well, that's good.
But see, I believe that when there's an enemy such as communism, you don't talk to it, you don't deal with it. All you do is you eliminate
it. Call up a talk show and blow off steam. Yeah, that's the way to deal with communism. That's right. Call up Lassiter and say things like Comrade Dukakis. Yeah. Oh, go for it, baby.
Well, I'm simply stating how I feel, Bob.
You're stating it very simply.
It's
single-minded jerk I've had on all day.
Eventually, as I say, one little country is of no consequence to us. But when 20 or 25 of these little countries, who all of them are controlled by the Russians, they are puppet states, band together, then that becomes quite a formidable army. And then I'm sure at that point you'll be saying, oh, no, we shouldn't fight. What we should do is we should all sing nice peace songs. And we should all smoke dope and just, basically...
We shall overcome.
Probably,
We shall overcome.
Well, you wouldn't sing that song, Bob, because that's a religious song, and you have nothing. You don't like religion. You'd sing John Lennon, Give Peace a Chance.
Oh, I beg your pardon. There are many religious songs that I think are very, very pretty.
Oh, I thought you would have went for John Lennon, Give Peace a Chance.
I love Christmas carols. Silent Night, a beautiful song. We Three Kings.
Well, I just, I really, like I say, I feel terribly sorry for you, Bob, because I think you're naive, to tell you the truth. I think you're too trusting of these other countries. They are basically out to get us, and they'll be more than happy.
You see, it's not a matter of trust. When you look at a country of 3 million people that's dirt poor, that doesn't have a functioning water system or electrical system or any means of, moving from point A to point B, if you'll pardon the expression, Muffy, it's not a matter of trusting them, sir. It's a matter of reality.
But I've explained already, Bob, that country, you're right, we don't have to worry about. But once all of them get together, the Russians will be more than happy to supply them with equipment.
You mean the Russians will give them trucks to drive up here with?
I would certainly think so.
Holy cow, there they come up the Mexican highway now.
Well, Bob, they'll be coming from the Middle East. They'll be coming from...
Driving from the Middle East?
Yes, I guess on ships. They'll be coming from, as you say, from probably over the border of Mexico. They'll be coming from all around, Bob. That's what I'm trying to say. It just won't be one area. But that way our armed forces will have to be split up to fight off all of these little attacks. You see what I mean?
And I know you just think I'm another lunatic, and that's quite all right. I just hope, Bob, I just hope that you get a job in the new Politburo for America, and I'm sure you will once you tell the Gorbachev how much you've done to further their cause.
Well, I don't know. They promised to have gulags, where we could put people like you. I might consider it.
Well, I certainly wouldn't. Before I was put in a gulag, I'd simply just take a gun and shoot myself. I'd rather be dead than red, and that's the truth.
Oh, I know that. I'm sure I can tell that. And that's why you're fighting communism by calling up my show. And
I just can't I guess what I'm trying to do is I know I'm wasting my time.
Nuke that place.
I know that I'm wasting my time, but
wasting your time, sir. I wouldn't want you to think of that. I wouldn't want you to think of this call as a waste of time. This call, sir, is crucial to my success. This is the kind of call that I desperately need to build ratings.
What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to explain to you the way things really are, and I know that it's a pointless, hopeless task, but I'm still trying. I don't know why. Maybe I'm bored at work, but I'm trying to explain to you that these are not benign countries, that Russia is not our buddy, that these places will eventually destroy us if we don't get them first.
Get the Bolivians before they get us. You got it.
I remember several months ago, Bob, you were on there boo-hoo-hooing about that jetliner, about the poor Iranians.
Well, I think it's always tragic when 290 innocent people are caught up in the middle of a war, don't you?
I know, and it was... And
I guess you don't think it's tragic when 290
and your attitude was if you don't shed big crocodile tears for the Iranians, I'm going to cut you off. And that's exactly what you did. Anyone who called up...
No, sir. I believe what I did is I asked how much a dead Iranian was worth. I believe that's the show that you're referring to.
Well, I don't think a dead Iranian's worth anything, but I think the whole place turned into a parking lot would be worth something.
50 million more dead.
They certainly, if they had an atomic bomb, Bob, just think of this. If they had an atomic bomb, do you think they would hesitate to use it on us?
Sir, if I had an atomic bomb, I wouldn't hesitate to use it on you. Wally in Tampa. Wally, you're on the air, 970 WFLA on Sheryl Browne Appreciation Day.
Hello, Bob.
Yeah, Wally.
Bob, I'm a long-time listener, but a first-time caller.
Great.
I just wanted to call about Sheryl Browne. My wife and I look at her at 11 o'clock news every night, and we like her very much, but we have a concern.
I normally catch the 6 o'clock. I'm not usually around for the 11 o'clock news, so I see her at 6.
Sir?
I said I normally watch the 6 o'clock news myself.
Well, I watch it at 11 because I can't watch it at 6. But anyway...
Well, I watch it at 6 because I can't watch it at 11.
My wife and I have a standing argument about Sheryl.
Yeah.
And we just wonder how many birthdays we can praise her for. I say she's at least 50, and my wife said she couldn't be over 45, and I just wonder if you could settle that argument.
So I don't think she's even as old as your wife says.
Go my wife says?
No, I don't think Cheryl's that old.
I'd be closer, huh?
No, sir. I said I don't think Sheryl is that old. I think she's younger.
Oh, she is?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Is she married and have children?
Not to the best of my knowledge.
Uh-huh. Well, we were just interested in her because we do like her. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay, Wally, take care. Hey, with friends like that, who needs... Sophia's showing her teeth. I don't think she liked that last call. Jeannie, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Hello, Bob.
Hello, Jeannie.
I'm a first-time caller also.
Great.
Listen, I'm Sheryl Browne. I don't have an awful lot to say, except that I've been dealing with, I am a professional woman, I've been dealing with them for 38 years. Sheryl Browne, when you watch her on the telethon that she was on, the crime program a few weeks ago and so forth, she's very obviously a very professional woman, but she's feminine. And just by comparison to the other two networks, Gail Sierens, well, come on now, she's a hometown gal. I just can't handle her too well. Well, and when on 13, I don't remember her name with you Downs, but when you look at her, you see a more masculine type female. She just looks at you Downs as much as to say, come on, Papa, let's stop. Get finished and let me talk. So I think Sheryl Browne is excellent, and I think Wilson, of course, is excellent.
John Wilson, Anchorman.
Well, he is. Did you see him on the debate in Orlando the other night?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's outstanding. I think his voice and so forth.
Hell of a lot more man than that Ann Bishop is, I'll tell you that much.
Well, okay. So now I have something else very serious in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I used to get very, very annoyed with you, with your Reagan bashing, for the simple reason.
By the way, on Monday, November the 7th, I'm glad you mentioned this, that will be Ronald Reagan Appreciation Day. The day before the election, Ronald Reagan Appreciation Day.
Well, I certainly, I have been a Republican all my life, and I did like Ronald Reagan. Okay. But now, as far as Bush goes, the thing that is disturbing me is this. I want to vote for Dukakis for the very simple reason that I feel that Bush is going to be almost lame duck with the House and the Senate when he gets into office. It's certainly going to be Democrat, and I think he's going to start out almost lame duck. So I wanted to find a reason to vote for Dukakis. Now, it's been claimed, obviously. I've been home ill for 6 months after back surgery. And I don't listen to soap operas and that sort of stuff. So I go
you
back.
don't listen to the Liz Richards show?
No, please. I'm so upset. I started to watch the movie in the morning.
Oh, my goodness. That's being pretty damned upset.
It is.
Whoa.
Because I can't handle her. I so much like Dick Norman.
We know what most people do. Most people put on the movie and turn down the sound and crank up Liz's show.
No, I can't really handle that. I just can't handle her. But anyhow, the thing is, you know, I've been listening to you very closely in trying to help me find a reason to vote for Dukakis. All right. Now, it's supposedly that, everybody in the dirtied stuff and back and forth and back and forth. Okay, that's all that he's had to say, and that's why he can't get his message across. But now I listened to him for a half hour and Kitty for a half hour on the Larry King show the other night. Closely. I listened to him last night on Nightline.
Yeah, that was an interesting program. That was an interesting program.
Yeah, it was interesting. The only thing is, and then today, Kitty and the kids were on the Donahue show for an hour. Now, a little bit with Ted Koppel, but certainly with Larry King and Donahue, they certainly had nobody protesting what they had to say. But they said nothing. He had an hour and a half last night. He had a half hour. She had a half hour on the Larry King show. The kids and she had an hour today. They're repeating the same thing over and over and over again.
Well, that's a valid comment on your part. It's true.
But there's no message. Now, there's the opportunity. Give us the message that we supposedly can't get. But there's no message. They're giving absolutely no message. So as a result, I see no choice but to go ahead and vote for Bush. Whether he says anything or not, to me, is unimportant. At least I feel for at least the first year he's going to go ahead and continue what Reagan's been doing, which I personally have been satisfied. And then, as not to really be sarcastic, but last week when you were talking about it, I really don't know why it went through my head, on the Lincoln. There is a way maybe Mary would buy it for you.
How's that?
Or let you buy it.
What's that?
And that is if you promised her a ride in it. I mean, after all, that would be fitting Bush's inaugural parade, right? So maybe if you promised her a ride in it for that parade, maybe she'd say, go ahead and get it.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, take care. Right. Terry in Dunedin. Terry, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Hello, Bob.
Hi, Terry.
I'm a first-time caller. I'd like to talk to you about Sheryl Browne.
Sheryl Browne. Well, it is Sheryl Browne Appreciation Day.
Yeah, I think she's a nice lady, and I like the way she delivers the news. And I'm in Dunedin.
What do you mean, the way she passes the papers over to John? What?
Yeah, well, I don't really like that John fella too much, so he's kind of shaky if you ask me. I don't know.
I thought he looked great at the Oliver North dinner the other night.
Yeah, well, I really don't like him. But, Bob, I'm kind of real close to Clearwater, and I'm worried about that Art fellow. The guy called you up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he makes me sick that I call myself a Republican, really. I'm surprised, though, he left out one
thing. I think every party has its, fair number of lunatics.
Yeah, he left out Cuba, though. He should have. I expected him to come up with the Cuba thing.
Darn, you know, you're right. He almost all of them forget Cuba anymore.
Yeah, I know. He's talking about coming through Mexico highways, going across in Alaska. He forgot Cuba. I'm really surprised at that guy. He even got Europe, but...
I mean, you know, God, the Russians, I suppose, could build a great big catapult in Cuba and just, it's only 90 miles away, and just, you know, kind of send them over one at a time. Put a, you know, nice leather chair at the end of the catapult and fire them off.
Well, Bob, I think you ought to have a Geraldo Rivera Appreciation Day. Because anyone who can find such stupid topics as this man does to have news shows on is really a guy with...
Oh, now, wait a second. Are you trying to tell me you don't find the devil to be a big problem in this country?
It's a big problem, but come on.
It is. All right, geez, you know who to hate more, the devil or the commies?
Well, you're going to have to ask Art about that.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure. He seemed like a good, religious, strong guy to me. But, Bob, I think you're right. For a person like yourself, you know, dodging a draft, well, I kind of respect that. I'm from Canada, and that's where I went when I had to dodge a draft. But that's all I had to say, Bob.
Oh, okay.
Okay, bye.
Take care, though. Bob in Parrish. Bob, you're on the air at 970 WFLA. Hi, welcome to Sheryl Browne Appreciation Day.
Yeah. I'll get to Miss Browne later.
No, you'll get to her first.
Okay. Just don't want to get cut off too quick. But you was talking about her hands. Okay. I think she's doing mental masturbation.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And then you see her hands leave the table. And then I think she's doing physical masturbation.
Oh, well, you're right. You are gone. In downtown, or put another way, downtown Dave. You're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Hi, Bob.
Hey, downtown Dave. How's it going?
Pretty good.
All right. Oh, hey, no complaints, man.
What's new and exciting?
Oh, just trying to get the Lincoln, you know.
Sheryl Browne, first of all.
Okay.
Excellent. She presents the news in an excellent way. She's very direct. And, yeah, I'd have to say, is pretty much for herself on the program. She wants to be number one, and she'll do anything to get it, okay, which is what everybody wants for themselves anyways. Number two, I just purchased a huge insurance policy for my wife and my family for the big landslide coming in a few weeks. And I saw Dukakis on Nightline the other night.
Tragic.
Well,
tragic.
I'll tell you, I really feel sorry for him, and I'll tell you, if he wasn't as soft as he was on foreign policies, I think I'd vote for him. I really do, and that's kind of tough for me as a Republican to say that, because he really means well, and I really think that he would attack the deficit problem. I don't know if what comments you have about that, but I think either one of the candidates really is a wasted vote for each party. I think I know who you're going to vote for.
Well, I've already said I've decided I will vote my conscience and vote Dukakis.
Is it a wasted vote in your eyes?
Is it a wasted vote in terms of Dukakis winning, I suppose?
Yeah.
Well, the polls now show anywhere from a 10 to a 14-point spread.
Yeah, well, I was just wondering, the guy had, according to the UPI or the news sources, at one point he had a 17-point lead.
Yeah.
And how did that erode so fast? I can't understand it.
Well, no one can understand it. But his display on Nightline last night sure as hell isn't going to help him. If he's planning on 2 or 3 or 4 more of those before the election, he's got some major troubles. I mean, I believe, actually, that Ted Koppel was trying his damnedest to help Michael Dukakis.
Oh, yeah, that was without a doubt.
And Dukakis was dumbfounded by the approach that Koppel took.
I'm wondering why that Dukakis is so soft. I mean, even in the debates, he had more than one chance to go after Bush. Never did. And I think that, a lot of the Democrats...
well, I guess he just doesn't have the old Lassiter killer instinct,
Well, I was wondering if you were up there, what you would do. What would be the first thing that you go after Bush about?
Well, I think I might have opened the paper today and said, look, This is the administration that encouraged this kind of nonsense. I mean, you can worry all you want about the communists in Nicaragua. You can worry all you want about the death penalty and so forth and so on. But here's some real unpleasant news. There are currently on the table $49 billion worth of takeover offers on the table this week.
Yep.
With the interest involved in those leveraged buyouts, we're talking probably something in the neighborhood of $100 billion. Not a penny of that money will be used to create jobs. As a matter of fact, in virtually every instance, if indeed not every instance, jobs will be eliminated because this is insane debt that no one can afford to carry.
Yeah.
That's $100 billion that will not go into new factories. $100 billion that will not go into financing new automobiles. $100 billion that will be drained from the economy so that a relative handful of people might make some paper windfall profits.
So what would you suggest as far as changing that? Are you talking about a little, like as far as corporate control, or are you talking about curbing takeover?
You better believe it. You better believe it. It's a hell of a lot more serious problem than the commies in Nicaragua.
But that's not a free market.
Well, I beg your pardon. This country prospered and grew strong under strict regulations that prevented one corporation from speculating in the stock of another one. IBM didn't get strong under the Reagan administration. McDonald's didn't form under the Reagan administration. Eastman Kodak didn't get strong under the Reagan administration. General Motors did not prosper under the Reagan administration. And all of those companies grew big, grew massive, grew strong, grew prosperous.
That's because there was a market for them.
No, it's because General Motors made cars instead of buying electronics firms, and it's because U.S. Steel made steel instead of buying chemical companies and dabbling in real estate.
So you're talking about basically controlling the corporation's interests outside of its own market.
No, I'm talking about, well, you know, I guess if you want to call it that, yeah, all right. I would sit down and listen to any proposal where Company A was trying to take over Company B, provided I could be assured that it would be in the best interest of all parties concerned, in the best interest of the nation, and that jobs would not be eliminated, and that very, very needed capital would not be sucked from the economy.
Well, you know,
they're the kind of things I'd be talking about, and I would probably have, I guess Bush would probably have a 50 or 60 point lead over me because nobody would know what the hell I was talking about. Even though it's as plain can be.
Yes. Bob, it's been a pleasure talking with you.
Be good, David. And don't forget, on Monday, November the 7th, it will be Ronald Reagan Appreciation Day on the station here, all 3 hours of the show. I know it's not technically his last day in office, but for all practical purposes, it will be. And we will spend 3 hours, 3 grand, glorious hours from noon until 3 p.m. on Monday, November the 7th, with Ronald Reagan Appreciation Day. But today is Sheryl Browne Appreciation Day. Josephine in Weeki-Wachee. Josephine, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Hello, Bob.
Hi, Josephine.
This is my first caller. And I enjoy your show, my husband and I.
Well, thank you.
And we got your picture hanging up in the house because we
oh,
just
my
love
God. It's more than I have hanging up in mine.
Well, this Sheryl Browne Appreciation Day, I think I'm going to be a little catty on that.
Whoa, be careful. Whoa, down, Sophie, down.
Well, for one thing, being a TV announcer, I don't think her hairdo should go with it anyway. I think it's too overdressed. And then her clothing, too, I think she gets it from a secondhand shop.
Whoa, whoa. I mean, why would you say something like that? I think, Sheryl dresses very smartly.
Well, I don't think so. I think that it's too overly dressed. More for evening, the way she, her clothing.
Well, that's when the newscasts are. They're on in the evening, right?
Pardon?
That's when the newscasts are. They're on in the evening.
Well, it's still, I don't know. I think she should be a little more casual, though, with her dressing. I really think that's the way it should be. She's too overly dressed. I mean, it doesn't, well, and this is my opinion anyway.
Okay.
So, I'm just a little bit, I guess I'm being a little bit catty, but I don't think her hairdo, becomes her very much anyway. So I know you like it, don't you?
Oh, I think it's very attractive.
Yeah, but I don't know.
It's the way Mary wears her hair.
Yeah.
Well, kind of.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I just thought
They're both blonde and they both have curls, so I guess you could say she wears it the same way.
I think it's too much overdue.
But Mary has better hair.
I think she should be a little more conservative.
Mary?
Pardon?
Mary?
What do you mean?
Mary should be more conservative?
No, not your wife. I'm talking about Sheryl.
Oh, okay. Well, but next time I see her, I'll pass it along to her.
Well, okay, that's all I have to say, Bob.
Thank you, Josephine. Take care.
Okay,
what do you think about that? Oh, down, you miserable mutt. Chris. Hey, great, Chris.
Hey, you know, I've been talking about Cheryl's mind. I saw her
that's because it's Sheryl Browne Appreciation Day.
Yeah, I saw her a couple of years ago at the St. Pete Triathlon, running down the beach, visions of Bo Derek. I mean, her body was like a coiled spring.
Whoa.
She really raised my,
yeah, I can well imagine, yeah.
And, well, anybody's wondering, she did participate in the 35 to 40 age group. But what I really called you about, I couldn't get in yesterday, was about the tourist, which I don't call snowbirds, I call lampreys, which is...
You call them what?
Lampreys, which is an eel-like...
Oh. Are you trying to be another Lionel impersonator or something?
No. It's an eel-like animal that attaches itself to the sides of the fish in the Great Lakes and just sucks everything out of them.
Oh.
The worst of them, I guess, the Michiganders, because they constantly complain and they say how great it is. And it's so great. You never hear about nobody retiring to the north. You know, they'll retire to the south. But I got 2 bombshells I'm going to lay on you right quick.
2 bombshells? That's something like a can of worms.
Yeah, no, it's bombshells. Did you know that the red tide was actually introduced from Lake Michigan just to facilitate getting hold of those fish, making it easier for them?
Wait a second, I thought the red tide was from the Kremlin.
No.
I thought it was some kind of communist conspiracy. Michigan, so yeah.
And if you notice your TV guide listings, since about the 15th of this month, I've seen the movie Deliverance shown on 4 different stations. And I think they're just doing it for the lampreys or snowbirds, whichever you want to call them, make them feel at home, you know?
No, actually, that has been done by the Reagan administration. They have gotten together with a lot of very, very wealthy Republican television station owners, and they're just running the hell out of that movie to force people to watch George Bush commercials, as an alternative.
Well, you ain't got the Lincoln yet, huh?
No, but it's maybe.
You just need to do, threaten her, scare her. Tell her you're going to take the shower massage away from her or something, Tell her you're going to go celibate. Have a good one, Bob.
Be good.
Bye.
Lassiter, whatever it may be, on News Radio 970 WFLA. I tell you, there's only one thing that strikes more terror into a talk show host's heart than sitting down at the beginning of the show and waiting to get those phones cranked up, and that is coming back from the newscast after Drop-Off City. Drop-Off City Major League this time around. There are lines, my goodness. There's only one actually in Pinellas. 3, count them, that's 1, 2, 3. Bob in St. Petersburg. Bob, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
How are you today, Mr. Lassiter?
Great.
You know, I really, with the way you treat people that call up here, and I try to tell you facts about the communists and about the way things are, and you simply ridicule them and you hum in the background while they're talking to you.
Yeah, but it was a nice Christmas carol I was humming.
Well, be that as it may, Bob, that's very disrespectful.
Yeah.
And, these people really care. And
I'll tell you what I think is a hell of a lot more disrespectful, and that is, a bunch of blowhard young punks who get on the telephone and talk about, wiping out several 100 million people. That I find very disrespectful.
Well,
don't you?
What I find...
Don't you?
Well, I can't go along with everything that they say, Bob, but
I don't see any reason to give anybody who thinks that, Bolivia is going to get together with Ecuador and they're going to get together with Nicaragua and come and invade the United States of America.
Well,
I don't find that kind of thinking deserving of any respect.
On that point, me and that caller may agree. I don't think we should wipe them out. These people don't like us, Bob.
Yeah, well, one of the reasons is because there are an awful lot of callous, stupid, short-sighted Americans who are always talking about blowing other people off the face of the earth. It's one of the reasons they don't like us.
Well, be that as it may.
Be that as it may. I know, details.
I'm a Republican, and as I say, I find...
No, you're not a Republican, sir. You're just a non-thinking person.
I find it very
to hang around with a lot of other non-thinking people.
I don't know who I hate worse, you or that chick that they have on in the morning. I can't understand what's happened to WFLA. The only person on it that makes any sense is Dick Norman.
That's right.
Then I can't understand it. But you basically, anyone who calls up,
You know, I mean, if someone was calling up and praising Dukakis, I mean, you'd keep him on for 30 minutes.
Well, you're quite wrong.
You know, but if somebody calls up and tries to tell you, because I believe communism is a threat to this country, Bob. I believe.
Yeah, I believe it's a threat too from inside because of people like you.
Exactly.
Because of people like you, the American people will probably someday turn to communism.
What they have done is they're infiltrating the Congress and with their ideas.
Infiltrating? Would you care to name some communist congressmen, please?
Well, they're not communists, but they are influenced by communist ideology.
Well, would you care to name some of those people who are influenced by communist ideology? I see.
And
a millionaire, yes, he has a great deal to look forward to with
that doesn't
communism.
necessarily mean, I'm not saying he is a communist, I'm saying he goes along with communist ideology.
Well, of course, anybody that has $1 million would go along with communist ideology, yeah.
Bob, as far as foreign
anybody that owns his own home, we'd, be a real sucker for communism.
Is concerned. That's what it is as far as foreign policy is concerned. I mean, he doesn't agree on every aspect with them, but he does enough to be a threat to this country.
Right.
And I truly can't see, you know, when this other guy called up and said he would vote for Orrin Hatch, you ridiculed him. What is wrong with Orrin Hatch?
What's right with Orrin Hatch?
Well,
the man's a rubber stamp, hasn't had an original idea in his entire life.
Well, neither has Dukakis.
Including the way he dresses. He copies Howdy Doody.
Neither is Dukakis. You know, the Dukakis is a howling idiot.
Oh.
You know, that's...
Well, why don't you give me some of Dukakis's howling idiot programs?
He ruined Massachusetts.
Well, could you be more specific?
With his blasted social programs, he
You are, of course, aware of the fact that the average wage, the average standard of living is far higher in Massachusetts than it is in Florida.
Yes, but he...
Yeah, I know. Details.
He bankrupt the state.
Sir, I beg your pardon. Massachusetts has very little debt.
Well, he came damn close to it. I lived there.
Sir, he didn't come damn close to it.
You know? I can't for the life of me see how you just automatically rubber stamp anything that is anti-conservative. You know, name me one conservative policy that you go along with.
Conserving the environment, but that unfortunately is not a neoconservative policy. Paying as you go, but that unfortunately is not a neoconservative policy. You know, little things like that.
Well, the second one I
happen to be very fond of genuine conservatism. Very, very fond of it, but there are no genuine conservatives left, apparently, in the Republican Party. There are a bunch of right-wing lunatics who have wrapped themselves in the title, in the name conservative.
Well, the second one I can agree with, Bob, paying as you go. I have to admit, I really don't care too much, you know, about the environment. Little birds and trees don't mean all that much to me. But
well, then, sir, you're not a conservative. You're just a right-wing lunatic.
Well, whatever you want to label me as, you know, I think you're a liberal.
You know, I can well imagine why little birds and trees don't mean very much to you, because human beings apparently don't mean very much to you either.
Yeah, I think you're a liberal.
Well, you can think whatever you want.
You know, you want to call me a right-winger, I think you're a left-winger.
Well, great.
And we can hurl names.
Well, you see, no, we're not hurling names, sir. There's something behind my accusations. There's nothing behind yours. I'm anything but left-wing. You don't understand what left-wing is.
I've listened to you for 2 years. I think there is something behind it.
Well, give me some examples of my left-wing ideology.
Well, you on there speaking all the time about how great and wonderful unions are. They're great, aren't they, Bob? When they strike and they riot and they throw bricks and bottles and bust up buildings, they're just wonderful, aren't they?
Well, I beg your pardon, sir. Striking is, of course, one of the prerogatives of a union, but throwing bricks and bottles is done by people of all persuasions.
Well, I never hear you mention about how there are bad things in the unions. I just always hear about...
I beg your pardon, sir. Then you apparently haven't listened for 2 years. There's much that I disagree with. I think that the union... You see, the people who elect union officials are just like the people who elect public officials. They frequently don't stop to think about what they're doing.
And if somebody wants to go back to work, you know, and the union will, in some cases, burn their house down, we'll beat them up, we'll do all sorts of things.
Sir, would you kindly give me an example of a union by name who burned somebody's house down?
I don't know. This went on in the 30s.
I know you don't know. It doesn't make a damn bit of difference to you whether you're talking truth. You just want to say what you hope is true.
But it did went on in the 30s. That much I do know. I don't know the exact union.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, sir. I'll tell you what also went on in the 30s. People that owned companies used to send people over to burn the houses down to the union members.
Well, you know, in that case...
You used to beat the hell out of them. Would you like? And I'll give you a specific. Henry Ford and the Ford Motor Company.
Well, I'll be, I have no problem with saying how I feel. If the union was doing it, I don't see any problem with fighting back.
Oh.
I really don't. But, I believe in right to work, which I know you don't.
Then suppose it was the company that started it first. Then would that be okay if the unions did it?
Well, no.
Oh,
I
see.
believe in right to work. I don't believe that unions serve very much of a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in right to work, and that's why Florida's a great state, and I know you hate that.
I believe in a living wage.
Well, I do, too.
I believe in the worker having as much rights as the guy that owns the place.
Well, I don't know about that.
Well, I'm sure.
There's such things as people who serve and people who are served.
Right.
To be very maybe that's not the exact words, but that's
no.
how
I think it's. I think it's your exact philosophy. I believe you stated it quite right.
Not everyone can be a boss, Bob.
Mm-hmm. I didn't suggest they should be.
But
no one should be a servant.
I don't know, Bob. It just seems to me, when you were applauding this Contadora peace process thing. All that is, Bob, is just a front so they can get more arms.
Oh.
That's all that it is. Right now they're talking peace so that the Congress won't send the Contras any more arms.
Mm.
While that's happening, Russia is sending tons of equipment in there.
Mm-hmm. Well, actually, I do know, and the Russians have cut back drastically on their supplies to the Nicaraguans.
Oh, well, of course, because you believe people like Mike Dukakis and people like Buddy McKay.
No, it wasn't Michael Dukakis that told me that.
Well, which liberal was it?
It wasn't any liberal, to the best of my knowledge. It was the Soviet Union themselves that announced that they were cutting back drastically, for example, on the oil shipments.
And you believe the Soviet Union, Bob? That's the main culprit of in other words, if Russia says it must be true. They lie, Bob. I know that's I've caught them in a number of lies, just like I've caught my own government in a number of lies too. I know that's hard to believe, Bob, but
No, it's not hard to believe at all. I just told you I've caught them in a number of lies, just like I've caught my side on a number of lies.
How do you know they're not lying to you this time?
Because I know there isn't much fuel available in Nicaragua by people who have been there. Of all political persuasions.
I'm talking about guns and bullets and artillery.
Well, as a matter of fact, it was the Reagan administration that just announced this week that the Soviets had cut back on heavy military shipments to Nicaragua, but were continuing the lighter arms and ammunitions. That was the administration. That did not come from the Kremlin. That came from the Pentagon.
Well,
obviously a hotbed of communism.
Well, if that's
filled with communist sympathizers.
I don't know how many. I'm sure I wouldn't be surprised.
Heavily infiltrated by the communists.
I wouldn't be surprised if there wasn't a few.
Mm-hmm.
There's certainly like.
It's not a matter, sir, of being surprised. It's something that you want to believe.
Like Senator.
And not having any love for fact or truth. You can believe whatever you want to believe. It's very easy.
Like Congressman Boland or Senator Boland, whoever he is, that made that damnable Boland amendment.
Damnable?
Yeah,
Are you referring to the one voted on by the majority of the elected representatives of this country? Who, Bob in Largo. Bob, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Yes, Bob.
Yeah.
Is that you, Bob, or is it me, Bob?
Well, it's us, Bob.
Oh, Bob, this brings up a point. WFLA has made a grave tactical error.
WFLA has made a grave tactical error? How's that, sir?
In their marketing of talk show hosts.
In their marketing of talk, yeah?
Yeah, I'm talking about the Lionel situation on Sunday.
The Lionel situation, yeah, how's that?
Here's what happened. Recently, there was an international organization who took a survey of the most famous people in the world, and the survey was based on the fact that if you know someone by the first name, they would immediately fall into the famous category. And what happened in the survey is that Babe Ruth won, Elvis took second, Cher was in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you guys have created a monster. Being a Bob like yourself, I don't know who I am. I might be Bob anybody, and you're even a Bob anybody. Bob.
Yeah, Bob's a rough one.
Yeah, now they've come up with allowing Lionel to get on the show known by his first name. I think you're dead, man, right there.
Well, I'm known by my work, though.
Yeah.
And Lionel's, that's all he's got going for him is his name.
Yeah, but look what you can do with it. What if you were Elvis? You see the advantage you guys got?
Elvis Lassiter. I don't know. That just doesn't really, boy, that's a tough one. How'd you like to go to the bank with a check made out to Elvis Lassiter?
That's true.
Yeah.
I noticed today the name Lionel. In fact, I used the name Lionel at lunch today, and I was expected to give a bigger tip and quite a few things that I found to be advantageous.
Well, obnoxious people who use language like that normally are expected to pay more.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Now, also, Lionel was calling you Dick. He's got something going. He's trying to confuse people about your name.
You're
Pick
kidding.
that up if you heard his show.
No, I didn't hear his show.
A caller came in and said he was listening to Dick Lassiter. He incorrectly called you Dick, and Lionel picked up on it right away and said he called you Dick for the next 15 minutes.
Are you sure that wasn't an editorial statement as opposed to just a faux pas?
Yeah, he was just trying to drown your image again, and I think as lousy as this guy is, he's got this thing going, and I think you're in trouble. Bob.
Thank you, Bob.
Yeah, I think
got to run. The show's over.
Oh, hey, great, but just hang in there and change your damn name, I think.
Hey, great.